Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of the Rangers Devils podcast. What was the name we came to last season?
Hockey on the Hudson.
That's right, Hockey on the Hudson, and we are back. We've got 2 weeks to catch up on hockey. So yeah, let's get started, huh?
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. First episode of the season. We didn't do a preseason one this year. Decided against it. Um, yeah, I'm Jake. I'm representing the Devils. I'm very excited. It's been a fun first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and I'm Drew. I'm representing the Rangers. Been a very weird 2 weeks for the Rangers.
We're both very much affiliated. All right, so we're just gonna start going over the games we played very briefly, talking very little about our feelings, but just really going over the first 6 or 7 games of the season. If you want to take us away, Drew, start with the Rangers.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the first game the Rangers had this year, let's see here. We were at actually I was gonna start with a little bit of preseason talk, just kind of what I
Oh, we
saw
could do that. Yeah, I'm
briefly.
cool with
Yeah.
that. I'm cool with that.
Okay, so just very briefly here. It was we got a new coach this year, LeCavier, or am I saying that name right?
No idea.
Oh no, that's gonna haunt me.
He's
Okay,
your
whatever.
coach.
That was yeah, no, right? Anyway, it starts with an L. It used to be the Preds coach, and honestly, everyone was kind of worried about him. I'm not gonna lie, but this system that he's got has been really good for the team that he has. It was definitely a slow start in the preseason. We did not. I think we won one game the whole preseason,
Oh.
which is fine. It was all kind of close, you know. I have to say though that it the veterans looked awful like the entire preseason, but the kids just looked way more confident, way faster. I mean, Lafreniere has definitely picked up his speed. You got Will Cooley, who's a new Ranger. He actually ends up making the team. He forces the team's hand, keeps him in the NHL, which is awesome. He gets to make his debut this year, which was really great. And Quick had probably the worst preseason I've ever seen in my entire life of a hockey goaltender.
Oh, you gotta love
I
that.
mean, yeah, it was just bad, and I was very worried about him starting the season. But honestly, changed my mind so far, so can't say anything there. And we have a new a free agent signing, Gustafson and Wheeler. Wheeler, it looks really slow, and has continued to look slow, which is kind of sucks. But Gustafson is a really great pickup for the defense, and he's been just filling in the gaps beautifully. So yeah, that's pretty much the preseason for Rangers. So.
I am just shocked that Wheeler is slow. So interesting. Yeah, yeah. So interesting going over from the Rangers, who finished last in the league during preseason.
Absolutely.
The Devils finished first in the league in preseason. They went a clean 7-0, winning every single game, and they straight up dominated. The power play was insane. It just looks so dominant, which has been a thing the Devils have struggled with the past few years, despite their sick lines last year. Their 112 points on the season. Like they special teams, our PK was good, but our power play just wasn't really doing all that great, kind of middle of the pack. But this year it looked amazing. So just I think they finished like first or second. I don't know. And the line that was really dominating was Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes, and Tyler Toffoli. I mean, just dominant. Let's see. Jack put up 8 points. Bratt put up 9. Toffoli 4. They combined for 9 goals in 7 games, and obviously, I think the most all 3 of them only played 4 games. So pretty damn good point totals. Each of them at least 2 points per game at the top there, and Toffoli with 1. And Toffoli, he hadn't really found his footing too well yet during the preseason, but he would get there. Nico Hischier looked amazing. Timo Meier posted above point per game. Dawson Mercer was above point per game. Simon Nemec. Okay, so that's the last point I want to talk about. Our last player was he looked fantastic. I was almost sure he was going to crack the starting lineup. He scored a shorthanded goal. He was jumping in well on offensive. Of course, he's making a few mistakes. I mean, this guy's fresh off the block, but he scored 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points in 4 games. He was amazing. I thought for sure he was going to crack the lineup. He ended up being the last player cut from camp, and it's to make room for Brendan Smith, of course, because why not? Brendan Smith.
Brendan Smith, of course, yeah.
And Colin Miller, but Colin Miller got injured, so he's not even playing anyway.
Oh, jeez.
All right,
Yeah. So
so good preseason recap. Onto the Ranger season.
all right. So we started with a nice handily win in Buffalo. It was really nice getting that 5-1 win to start. Lafreniere came out flying, like absolutely flying. I'm actually, if I'm not mistaken, he scored just 1 goal and was it 1 assist here or? Oh no, it was just 1 goal. But he was like all over the ice. Like he was definitely the Rangers' best player, like all over. Chris Kreider ended up scoring 2, 1 on the power play, 1 shorthanded. Panarin got 1 that was unassisted. It was just like a filthy, filthy goal. Also, by the way, update on Panarin. He's now bald, so that's cool. Gotta love that.
He is an egg.
Yes, he. I don't think I've ever seen someone shave their head and turn more into an egg than Panarin. As
It
the
is
and,
not a good look.
and as the Rangers like to call it, it's the Messier cut. It does not look good on him at all. But
Ah, yes,
he's
the
been playing
Messier
well with
cut.
it. He's been playing well with it. And it's been interesting to see like our lineup because for once in our lineup, we have 2 good healthy scratches. We have Zach Jones, who is like a phenom out of college, who should be playing, but it's kind of hard to put him in when you've got so many good players. And then Jimmy Vesey as well, who's earned his spot time and time again on each team he's played for. So it's a really good roster right now. So we got that nice 5-1 win in Buffalo. And then we came back with a 5-3 loss to the Blue Jackets, which was definitely dejecting. But I honestly thought that would happen right away in the season. We would end up losing like 3 or 4 times, just because we're learning a new system. And that's the crazy thing about this season is Gallant didn't have a system last year. He literally would just blend the lines as soon as there were any adversity in the game, um, and then would just struggle to keep up playing. And it was awful because it was just making players dejected, and you could tell they'd give up and get frustrated easily. What's really nice about I'm going to just keep saying Lecavalier. He's really done a great job at building
That's
like
right.
a strong system um, that works from the neutral zone. Like even in that preseason loss against the Devils, it that game was really balanced in the beginning of the game, and it was because both teams were taking control and it was battling in the neutral
Mm-hmm.
zone. So to me, that was like something that I loved watching. Like that game, we lost 5-2, but still, I mean, it was really great. And you saw some kind of that in this.
Yeah, even the first period,
Yeah, yeah,
despite the Devils going up 2-0,
yeah. I know. Those
everyone had their chances.
those goals went in so quick too. But yeah, you kind of saw that in the
Yeah.
Blue Jackets game. And then we came back and won against the Coyotes, which we should have, although it was 2-1. It was way too close of a game. And then right after that, we had an awful loss to the Predators, which I honestly kind of expected just because the Predators have, I don't know, I mean, watching their or seeing their lineup, they've got a new coach. It's a totally different team this year. So it'll be interesting to see where that takes them, for sure. And then it was a bad loss, but at least we came back and beat the Kraken 4-1, which was an awesome game, by the way. It was a goal after goal for the Rangers. They really stood over the Kraken and demolished them. Although I've got to say, this new trend of Jacob Trouba hurting people has got to stop. Or not new trend, but Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
pretty
new
bad.
trends.
Well, I mean, even that run he took it to Foley, in the preseason, it was just like, "Dude, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, you're just trying to hurt people, and it's so dumb. Um, but yeah, Panarin's been our kinda goal scorer or lead, point scorer this season, um, and he's been playing awesome, and it hasn't even been, like, totally noticeable on the ice every game either, so it's nice to see those points coming when he's not really, um, being as impactful. And then we, of course, had, Calgary, last or not last night, sorry, my bad, on,
Frozen
Tuesday.
Frenzy Tuesday.
It was, 16 games in one day. Why did the NHL choose to do that? I don't know. I really don't.
Because it was fucking awesome.
But yeah, we had a really bad
We'll
first
talk about it
period.
more later.
Yeah, we had a really bad first period against the Flames. And of course, it kind of looked like the preseason again, where all the young players were playing way better than all the veterans. And then all of a sudden, Lafreniere gets a goal in the second period, a nice tipper. They was looking like Kreider a little bit. And it was great. It shot right in, and the entire team was, like, electric after that. And Kreider scored, soon after with another, tipper, which was, by the way, I don't understand how Chris Kreider can do this, and I know you said last season that it's just luck, but I
What? No, I didn't. Bullshit.
I was
I'm
someone said
calling
that
you
to
on
me.
that one.
Someone said that to me.
Absolutely not me.
Was it that? Oh my
That's
god, I
crazy.
thought it was you, dude.
That's a crazy
He okay,
accusation.
okay. It's since the stat has been
I
counted.
play hockey, man.
Chris Kreider has played, I think it's like, he's played 200 games less than the one person that's ahead of him in tips or
Yeah.
tip goals. It's insane. Like, I mean, this guy, it's just his hand-eye coordination is crazy, and you watch him just, like, kinda, like, nonchalantly skate in front of the goalie, and then he skates out, like, towards the side, and all of a sudden, the puck just, like, bounces off his stick. It's like a shot going wide. It looks like it's going wide. It's gonna it's going right past the goalie, and then Kreider just kinda just nudges his stick a tiny bit, and the puck just goes top right. It's like, "What?" What the hell? Um, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's
been
insane.
so great, to watch that, and then, Gustafsson, got his first goal as a Ranger, of the season, which was really awesome, and he ends up getting the Broadway hat, which is like uh, the players' MVP prize, so that was really cool. So yeah, that was, our season, and right now we're sitting at, 4-2, my bad, soon to be 5-2 after tonight against the Oilers, without McDavid, so
Probably, honestly.
uh,
Um,
yeah, but anyways, would love to hear how the Devils are doing now.
yeah, for the record, I spend hours every week training my tippers because I know how skillful it is. So
Oh,
thanks for that.
oh my god, sorry.
But no, it's
I
fine.
apologize. I take it back.
No, it's okay. It's
Oh
okay.
my god.
I'm just joshing you. All right. So Devils, a bit of a weird start to the season. Lots of ups, lots of downs. They're currently sitting at 3-2-1, which is like fine, I guess. It's post 500, but it's not the start you expected from the Devils. So we started against the Red Wings. This was opening night. For both teams, this was Thursday, October 12th. So it was right by the start of the season. I was very impressed with the Red Wings. I knew they were going to be better. I didn't think they were going to be as good as they are. When we go around the league, we'll talk about them a bit, but they brought it. The Devils looked a little slow out the gate, which is going to be a bit of a theme. But we finished first period, no goals. Devils take a 2-1 lead in the third or in the second, and then they trade goals in the third to win 4-3 in regulation. It was a very fun game. Jonas Siegenthaler putting up 3 points. Everyone knows he's a very offensive defenseman, of course, totally. So that was impressive. Jack Hughes netting 2 goals. So he started off hot. And that will continue. So that was a fun first game. It was a good entry. But we start the season on a back-to-back against the Coyotes, where we do fall 4-3 in a shootout. This one, once again, Devils super slow at the gate. Um, They go down 1-0, rally in the second to actually look good for once, and Nick Schmaltz scores a very late goal to tie it and bring us to overtime, where the Devils dominate but can't beat Vemelka. Very impressed with his play. He's a fantastic goalie for the Coyotes. I'm actually a very big fan of the Coyotes. And then we go to the shootout, which, if you follow the Devils at all, you will know that is a death sentence. We will win almost every overtime, but if we go to a shootout, we're dead in the water. So miss our first 2 shots, they score their first 2, we're done.
That's such an awful way to lose.
So at this point, it sucks. Shootouts shouldn't be a thing. It's not a hot take. I think everybody agrees.
I know,
there should be at least 10 minutes of 3-on-3,
Mhm.
but it's going to take a while. It'll probably happen eventually, is my guess, but it might be a few years out. So after these first 2 games, I'm starting to notice is goaltending is already questionable. I mean, everyone said it's a question mark. I'm very happy with Tom Fitzgerald just saying, like, we're just going to run with these goalies. If we need to make a move, we make a move later. But we're going to trust in them and see what's going on. Vitek has looked pretty good. Schmid has not looked good at all.
God.
Like the Coyotes game and the Capitals game that we're going to get to, we just have to win those. But we don't. Poor goaltending, but can't lay it all on goaltending. There's plenty of other mistakes. You got to play a 60-minute game, most importantly. Then we go to the Panthers. I was actually at this game live. This was, I think this was like 3 days after the Coyotes game. We had a lot of nice stretches in the early season. We lose 4-3. And this is the worst game that the Devils have so far this season of not playing a full 60 minutes on the ice. They didn't play the first 45 minutes of this game. I mean, when I say the sold-out Rock was a snoozer, everyone was taking naps. I mean, I was there with a friend, and like it was 4-0, 45 minutes into the game, Panthers. And like there's nothing to cheer about except for like a couple fans just going crazy on like the Jumbotron and making it fun. I actually made it on the Jumbotron within 3 minutes of arriving, which I haven't had since I was like 7 years old. So that was kind of cool. But then the Devils score. They score again. And then they get a power play 6-on-4, and they score again. I think it's Jesper Bratt, and we're all going crazy. There's so much energy in the building, and the Zebras just don't call a trip on. They don't call a trip on. I don't know who it was, but they tripped Dawson Mercer like clear as day in the offensive zone on a 6-on-5, which would have given us another 6-on-4 power play. And at this point, the Devils' power play is firing on all cylinders already. Like, we'll get to the exact stats soon, but they look amazing. And it almost gave us like an 80% chance of scoring, but they don't call it because it seems to be a theme. We'll get to the reffing later in general around the league. It hasn't been good. This game was particularly awful. I think they were watching entirely different games for both teams throughout the entire game, missing calls, calling things that didn't happen. My buddy's a Panthers fan, so we're texting, and we're just like, what is going on here? Like, what is going on? And I'm in person, so it's even worse. Ref, you suck chants going crazy, booing the Reds. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty. I think a lot of people would agree with that, but that was the biggest sting, was not calling that very much a trip. Like, just he's skating ahead of him, and he just sticks his stick between his legs and trips him in the offensive zone on a 6-on-5. And they're like, no, it's too late in the game. We don't want to affect the game by calling an actual penalty. So that was disappointing. Just fall short. But you can't start playing with 15 minutes left and expect to erase a 4-goal lead. You almost did, but you can't expect that to happen. So it was still fun. It was very fun. The end of the game made it at least exciting, so I could leave with a smile on my face. But the rest of the game was boring as all hell. Islanders game, that was a weird one. Very back and forth. I think like the largest lead any team had was a 1-goal lead throughout the game. Devils don't score first. And it goes 1 goal for each in the first, 2 goals for each in the second, 1 goal for each in the third. Like just back and forth, back and forth. 4-point night for Jack Hughes, 2 goals, 2 assists. Jesper Bratt, 3 points. Timo, 2 points. So he needed a wake up since he got benched in that Panthers game. And then the Devils went in overtime. Islanders scored really late to tie it on a 6-on-5, I believe. So that was a little bit like, come on, let's not take another overtime loss here. But Devils do what they need to do in overtime, and they win because they're the Devils, and their 3-on-3 game is elite because we have Jack Hughes. Canadiens game, that was during Frozen Frenzy. Devils win 5-2. Nothing too much to talk about here. Canadiens score first, and then the Devils just run them over for the rest of the game. Canadiens score one really late to make it 5-2, but it was basically already over. It was already over. But Matheson, who did score it, really having a really good start to his season. I've been impressed. And then the game yesterday was the only game in the NHL. Off another back-to-back. The Devils lose to the Capitals 6-4. Now, this was a really weird game. Capitals score 3 times in the first period. Devils score 4 times in the second.
Hell.
Then the Capitals score 3 times in the third, including an empty netter. All 10 goals were scored on the left side of the ice. On the right side of the ice, like, pucks were bouncing like crazy. Neither team could complete a pass when they're in the offensive zone on that side. I'm not sure if it's an ice issue. I've heard some things that there's been ice issues all around the league. I'm not ready to don my tinfoil cap, but that was just something I noticed. Really weird. I also saw a weird stat after the game that at all 30 goals scored at the Rock so far, 22 have been to the left, 8 have been to the right. And to the right, that's the Devils. They shoot. That's their shoot twice side. So I don't know how we're pulling these wins because we lost twice at the Rock, but I think we've won 2. We lost. No, okay, we've lost 3 of them. So I guess that checks out.
I'd also love to see like shots attempted and passes completed.
Yeah,
The ice,
that'd be a stat to dig up later.
Yeah.
There's a little advanced stat. That'd be interesting.
Definitely putting on the tinfoil hat for
but
that.
Yeah. So yep, Devils once again 3-2-1, bumpy start, but there's some highlights, and so I think now we're going to talk about the players on each team that have impressed us. We'll maybe do 2 or 3. We'll start with you, and we'll alternate.
All right.
See what you got.
So I'll start with the Rangers real quick because there's been just a couple standouts that I've really loved. Definitely Lafreniere. The speed is definitely there. That wasn't last year. That you definitely needed. It was really awesome. And then of course, Gustafsson has just been incredible. What a great pickup. I mean, I think he's making. I want to get this right actually because I know it's a deal and a half. We got Wheeler at 800K league minimum, so it's stupid, whatever. But Gustafsson,
Pretty good deal, though.
Gustafsson is just over league minimum at 825. It's such a good deal. I mean, he's already gotten
That's really good.
already 3 points into the season as a defenseman. He's already playing on the second power play unit. It's been really great. And then any other teams? That's the other thing is I haven't really watched a lot of other teams, unfortunately, yet. Has there been anyone that you've noticed besides Vejmelka? Because he played ridiculous against the Rangers too on Arizona. They've got a good goalie in him for sure. It's kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, very bright as day is the powerhouse combo from DeBrincat and Larkin. I mean, 14 points for Larkin, 13 for DeBrincat. That's second and third in the league. I think they've played 7 or 8 games now. They've been amazing.
Yeah.
Larkin in particular, he's signed. I haven't been watching too many games around the league. That's not necessarily true. I watched all of Frozen Frenzy.
Gotcha.
That was fun. But yeah, no, Larkin's been amazing. DeBrincat. Who else? Allmark has been really good. And so is Swayman, actually. Boston's just been really good.
I know, dude.
Despite,
I cannot believe
everyone's anticipation.
Yeah, all the aging seniors on their team are still schooling everybody. It's insane.
Allmark's pretty young.
Actually, I gotta say on Vegas, Jack Eichel has been their best player. I watched one
That's
game.
not too surprising for me.
Yeah, he's really starting to pick it up again, and I'm really starting to love that. You can tell that injury's gone.
Yeah, he's been back to Eichel.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's been pretty fantastic. All right, so for the Devils, we'll save the big one for last. Um, Particularly impressive, Kevin Ball. He's got 0 points, a -1. He's had some iffy games. However, he has like shown out. Like in the Capitals game, he was the only bright spot in the first period from the Devils. The only one. He actually was playing well. He was shutting down the Stars, getting sick like poke checks, reaching around Ovechkin without taking a penalty. Very, very impressed with his play. He's only taken 1 penalty so far this season. He was definitely iffy right at the start, but he's looking like a very solid second line defenseman.
Nice.
Dougie Hamilton, of course.
Okay.
He's got 6 points this season, 3 goals, 3 assists. Pretty solid defense, but he's more on the offensive side. Of course, it's Dougie Hamilton, but he might have the best shot, one of the best slap shots in the league, or for defensemen, of course. He may just for defensemen have the best slap shot. It's so unbelievably accurate. He's definitely top 3.
I'm trying to think of anyone better. I mean, I can't. It passed.
Cale Makar is more of a sneaky, wristy guy.
Yeah, they all are.
There's plenty of really good ones, but it is pinpoint accuracy. Almost looks like prime PK Subban.
Oh wow,
it's really impressive.
that's special.
But obviously he is slower than I am on skates, but he's still amazing. Tyler Toffoli. Oh my God, what an addition. He's currently sitting at 9 points, 6 goals, 3 assists in 6 games. Holy crap. I don't know how he does it. He's not the fastest skater, especially on a very fast Devils team. But he's I don't know, I guess he puts magnets on his stick and in the puck or something. Like it just appears on his stick and then goes right in the net. He releases it so fast. I guess it's like he's just always in the right position. He knows where to be to score goals, and the puck shoots out right to him, and it's off his stick in a second and in the back of the net. It's amazing to watch. And then, of course, the big one, Jack fucking Hughes. Oh my God. By far the front runner for league MVP right now, especially with McDavid injured. In 6 games, he has 4 goals and 13 assists, 11 of which are primary assists. 17 points. The only players in modern history to score more points in 6 games is Mario Lemieux, Mike Bossy, and Wayne Gretzky. He's in 5th place. Wayne Gretzky has done it twice. That's insane. I think Mario Lemieux currently has the record at 22 points in 6 games. It's absurd.
Yeah.
This kid he looks like the same exact player from last year, except even more consistent. His eyes are insane. He's always got that head on a swivel, looking around, creates open ice out of nothing. Just 17 players are running into each other, and all of a sudden he's open in the slot with a straight shot on net. He will pass through 18 players' legs to land right on Timo Meier's stick in front of the net. It's amazing. And he currently plays on a line of Hughes, Meier, and Toffoli. They have just been amazing. What a dominant line in the NHL. And the points really show it. Oh, also, a little fact about Jack Hughes. Last year, he got 1 penalty. I think he got 1 in the playoffs as well. And we got 2nd place in the Lady Byng. In the first game, he took 2 penalties. He got in some big scrums. Yeah, he's definitely a lot more aggressive now. He'll get on you. And at the end of the Capitals game yesterday, he took an enormous hit into the boards late in the game. Faravari. So that's a big no-no, Faravari. Late in a game, slamming a small star player. We're gonna have his number next game. So
yeah, it'll be bad.
He better watch out because he's gonna get his head chopped off if he's not careful.
Oh god, yeah.
But Jack Hughes got right up back to his feet and started playing again. But it was a huge hit, clean hit, very clean hit. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like a Jacob Trouba. Is it clean? Is it not hit? No, it was just a clean
Yeah.
hit. But it was a slam and a half into
A
the
mean
boards.
hit, yeah. Uh,
Mean
oh
hit.
my god, yeah, speaking of that kinda end of game shenanigans, there's a lot of that, and it's because of the refs, how bad they've been this year at calling games throughout the year. So,
Yeah.
like, last year, there was a Calgary game last year that was, Kadri and Trouba were at each other's throats pretty much. The both times last year when they played each other, that we played our first game this year, and, is Kadri even on the team anymore? Hold on. I don't think I even saw him, but oh my god.
Kadri plays for the
Yeah,
Flames.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, he's still there. It was bad the entire night. It was back and forth. There was like several players that were going at each other the entire night. Slashes, poke checks. There were I saw at one point Shesterkin basically slashed someone in the head because the dude was kept like shoving himself into the net, and Shesterkin kept pushing him away, and then he slashed him in the head. No call, nothing. And then, of course, right
Jeez.
after that, Trouba laid somebody out. I can't even remember who it was, and he went down and out. Like he went off the ice, and he hurt him. Like he's not back. Um, so there was that, and then right before that, we had the Anaheim. I mean, the Arizona game. And I don't know what the hell happened at the end of that game. There were, like, 2 missed calls, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the game, I mean, it was 2-1, and it was like we already pretty much won the game, and, they the entire team got into a brawl, and Shesterkin even came over to stop someone from coming in and jumping in, and ended up getting, like, dogpiled. It was wild. There
That it does kind of sound like
I know.
Shesterkin. He does like to get
It
involved.
does. I think that if I'm not mistaken, there were 22 minutes of penalties or something like that at the end of the game. I
That's funny.
know, yeah,
I love when games.
it's so bad. Yeah, the reffing has just been so abysmal and poor this year. It's
Yeah.
crazy. The slashing calls have
One.
been so
Yeah.
weak.
It feels worse than last year. I say that every year. But it feels kind of consistent this year. Some of the
Yeah.
time, like consistently skipping clear and obvious calls. Like in particular, um, interference. They
Yeah.
kind of are just doing away with interference this year, which I think is really weird. At least in the games I've watched, I've seen interference calls, but like it's not the standard interference we're used to. Like on a rush, you push the puck around, and then the guy pushes you backwards, and you either fall back or he just keeps holding you while the puck's like a
When
mile
they've been
away and
the
other people are
actual way
playing
they've
it.
been calling it this
Like
year.
that's the standard interference.
Yeah,
They're
the
like,
way they've been calling it
no.
is, you, kinda take someone into the boards, and you kinda put your arm around them a little bit, like everybody kinda does, and you don't go heavy into the boards, you just kinda stop them in the boards. I've seen that called, like, 6 times. I'm like, that's what's been
Yeah.
done forever.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just oh my god, it's been so weird, and oh
And
my god, Kelly
a
Sutherland?
lot of missed trips,
Fucking
but that's
Kelly
pretty
Sutherland.
standard. Yeah.
Kelly Sutherland, there was one game this year, I can't remember which game it was. We were down by 1 goal, and it was like the end of the game. Shesterkin lobs the puck all the way across the ice to Panarin, and right before Panarin can get to it, Kelly Sutherland is going towards the boards, like, right at the blue line, like, skating into the offensive zone where Panarin's going, and instead of getting out of Panarin's way, because you can see Panarin is gonna go along the boards, he skates in front of him, knocks the puck away, it goes the other way, and they score. The other team scores.
Didn't was that the one where he took he took him out to get a beer after the game to like apologize and like
I
explain and
hope
be
so.
like,
I
yeah,
didn't
I
hear
fucked
that,
up.
but he
Because
he
I know
literally
that happened this
oh my
year
god, he
where
ooh, it was
yeah.
so bad, and he literally just comes over and was like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, dude, you
I'm just gonna
literally
look
just
that up.
you impacted the play enough to stop the not only stop a goal from like an almost goal, like a 50-50 from happening, a Panarin on the breakaway. Like, are you serious? And to stop that, but then for it to turn the other way and the other team score, bro, I would have stopped. I would have. I mean, come on, you got to stop play at that point. Call dead play or something. That's just absolutely ridiculous. That has nothing to do with any of the players playing badly. It's just a ref kicking the puck.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Huh.
yeah, bad refing this year.
Yeah, not great. Not
I've
great
already
at
heard
all.
2
Can't find
refs
exactly
you
which game
suck
that was.
chant already.
Oh, it was in a Stars game. Oh yeah, they have. I mean, that's gonna happen whether it's good refing or not.
I know, but this early in the season,
um, yeah. I mean, like last season, I went to like the first 4 Devils games or so, or like 3 more every single game. Some of them good, some of them bad. But
yeah,
listen, we're sports fans. We always find something to complain about. But this right now, we have something to complain
I
about.
know
It's
it's
been bad.
so bad.
Um, some of it consistently bad, which I guess is okay as long as they stick with it throughout the season.
Mhm.
And usually they crack down a bit more in the early season, which is weird why they're not. There's a lot of non calls and then a lot of just bad calls. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on it and monitor it through the next couple of weeks. But that's zebras for you. All right. Any what questions you have for me about the Devils?
Oh, yeah, so I was gonna say,
Is
we
that
kinda started off the preseason the opposite that we did last year, right? So there were a lot of high expectations on the Rangers, no expectations on the Devils. Devils didn't s Devils did, not so great to start the preseason and then immediately came out into, like, a 16 what was the winning streak? How many games was it? I don't wanna
Oh, we actually did amazing in the preseason
was
last year.
it?
We finished second in the
Okay,
league.
okay, I was wrong, sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But then we went 0-2, and then it was Fire Lindy.
yeah,
We won 3 games straight, then lost again, and then we went on a 13-game win
13
streak. And
games, that's
after
right.
like the 11th game, it was sorry, Lindy.
Yeah. So but anyways, there was not a lot of
And
expectation.
that 14th
Yeah,
game,
right?
that was the ultimate reffing game. I swear to God. Anyone can go watch the Toronto Maple Leafs New Jersey Devils early in the season last year. Watch the recap. Do yourself a favor. It's crazy. Fans got a little hand, to say the least. Almost forced the Devils to forfeit on the spot because of all the raining down garbage and full beer cans and stuff. But
Oh, it's so bad.
um, yeah, a lot of disallowed goals there. A lot of disallowed goals.
Oh my god, there's certain games you can just go on and on about, and that's definitely one of them. Oh my god.
Yeah. I don't even think the refs necessarily did a bad job. I think one of them probably should have counted. But you know, so be it.
3 in a row, yeah.
It was mostly like a fit of passion. Devils about to break a record, and then like we lose to these iffy no goals. I mean, the third one, sure, definitely not a goal, but one of those first 2 probably should have been. But whatever. In the past,
But anyways, like
we'll just get another 14-game win streak this season.
exactly, you just need to do it again. Anyways, what I was saying was last year there were like no expectations on your team. It was just develop, see where it lands. It ended up being great for you guys and everything. And there was a hell of a lot of expectations, like because it was this for the Rangers. It was if we don't make the playoffs, Gallant's gone. If we don't get to the Stanley Cup Finals, Gallant is gone. All that kind of stuff. There's a lot of high expectations on the team. This year, the Rangers come in, they
Yeah,
absolutely shit the bed in the preseason, so nobody's talking about them. I honestly kinda think it was the best thing for us, but how do you feel about that?
definitely could have been.
Because for whatever reason, our team is just a bunch of nutcases or anyways, but with the Devils, do you feel like there's been, like, a high expectation for the team or and do you feel like it'll help, like,
Well,
kinda help or be bad? Like
yeah, I mean, high expectation doesn't even begin to cover it.
yeah.
We're probably the most hyped up team going into the season. I know most rankings consensus probably put Carolina over the Devils in the Metro, but now the Devils are always slotted in as cup
Yeah.
contenders. The hockey guy picked the Devils to win the Stanley Cup,
Yeah.
and he's my favorite.
He's
So
good.
that meant something.
Um,
Oh, he's amazing.
yeah.
He's a fucking workhorse. But well, yeah, like the expectations are unreally high. Like they're just super huge. And yeah, I think that hurts the team a little, but not too much. Where like the Devils are a very heads down, get to work team. For the last 5 years, even though those are some bad records in there, except for obviously last season. Um, the Devils never stop playing. I mean, they don't. The issue is really they don't start playing, but then they never give up. I mean, they're pretty consistently one of the absolute best play from behind teams. I mean, I think last year, I mean, we had at least 5 more comeback wins than the next guy, maybe probably even more. They never stop, so I think they're pretty good at blocking out the noise almost and just being like, get down, play our game, win the game. Um, and I think that's going to ran through. But like when I was saying, the Devils are very much a wind-up team. They start games slow. They always start games slow. They're the only team in the league who has not scored first in the game yet. Through 6 games, we are 0-6 for scoring first. And we still have a record of 3-2-1, which scoring first, it's good odds boost of winning the game.
Yeah, definitely.
But
You don't want.
let's keep going. But they're a wind-up team, and I think that's true for the season as well, not just individual games. I mean, it happened last year. Losing to the Flyers and Red Wings in games 1 and 2. That's a bad look, especially because they were 5-2 games. Like bad look, losing to the Capitals. But then you actually I think we beat the Capitals. I don't know the team we lost to, but they wound up and then they got going. So I think we're gonna see a lot of that. I think it's gonna take a little bit longer than last year. I don't think it's gonna be the 6 games. I don't think like next game we're gonna start a 17-game win streak. But I think we'll probably see like 6 of the next 10 games go our way, and then 7 of 10 for most of the rest of the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I want to ask you about, it's a pretty simple question. I want to like look at your line combinations,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
right? Because they're quite a bit different than last year. They're definitely mixed around. At the bottom, it's a whole right mess. So I want to know how you feel about depth, and specifically, and then I want to know about how you feel about the elimination of a kid line, Kako on the top line, top 2 line combinations, and how you feel about your depth.
Yeah, I mean, so honestly, way more depth this year. That's where I'm going to start with this year.
Mm.
The next thing is definitely, um, like I was saying last year about Gallant, he hits that blender, and then and he does it after a loss too, which is worse because you don't let a team settle into a lineup, and you keep. There were certain line combinations that worked, and then for whatever reason, like the team would, the opposite team we were playing at that time would score a goal against that line, and that was it. That line would get blended. And so he never let everything settle. And with LeCavier, he literally has not changed his lineup or his lines in like 6 games. He's maybe changed like 2 lines, and that would just be the third and the fourth line with regards to depth players. So it's been really awesome. It's been nice to see a team not get like all of a sudden it's like halfway through a game we're down 2-1, and you're looking on the ice and you're like, wait, why is Trocheck playing with Kreider and also Wheeler? Like what is happening here? That's not a good line. So it's been that in that regard, it's been really awesome to see, and I also think that's why this team has been so good. Like even with the Calgary game, we didn't score first, and we still looked bad in the first period, like really bad in the first period. But he stuck with the lines; he didn't just blend them, and the team was able to settle into the game and easily win, and it like all within the second period. So
Mm.
it's been really awesome to watch. The other thing about the depth is um, they're not just like oh my god, it's not like Jack Johnson or Brendan Smith or they're actual good players. Having VC Goodrow, Zach Jones, it's brought like a speed to the team that we haven't had before because they're younger guys, right? They have that hunger and that want and the drive, especially Will Cooley. That's been a huge depth piece for us. He's young. He's 20, 21, 23. Hold on. Let's see here. Will Cooley is 21 years old. So kind of crazy. Um, he's playing the level he is, especially he was not drafted high at all. I think he was drafted like 50th. So it's really great that he's cracked the lineup. Sorry, 60th overall. So second round. Um, but yeah, I'd honestly say though, I'm a little I- I'm not really a huge fan of Trotrek. Um, and the third line, just because it is like Wheeler and Trocheck. Um, they kind of suck. um, so I
Mm.
do see that eventually changing and moving, but we'll see really what happens. Um, yeah, that's really about it, I think.
All right. Has there been any injuries to your lineup?
Um, no, where is wood so I can knock on said wood? Here we go. Yeah, no injuries so far this year. Um, I think
Okay.
Heedle started this year with an injury, maybe in the first. But it was nothing big. I mean, it was like a day to day. We're just holding him out just in case because the season hadn't started yet. Pretty sure he was back at the second game, anyways. So nothing bad or anything like that. Trying to see if there's
Okay.
anything. I don't think we don't have anyone on injured reserve. So yeah, no, we're good. What about you guys? Any injuries?
Nothing too bad. Tom Thomas Nosek.
Oh, okay.
He's usually on our fourth line. He's on IR right now. Nico Dawes. I mean, he's not going to play for the big club anyway, but he's a goalie, obviously in the AHL. Well, one of the best goalies in the AHL right now, actually. But he's out for half the season. But we've known that for a while. And then Colin Miller is actually currently listed as day to day. I thought he was going to be out a little longer. And I don't see it on this list, but Keith Kincaid, I believe, is also still injured, which we got him back very randomly and shockingly for like the AHL. And so he might be back by now, but I thought he was still out. Ooh, Devils legend, by the way, Blockade, absolute beast.
Like, yeah.
Actually a big part of the Taylor Hall year, 2018, getting us to the
Yeah,
playoffs.
that's true.
He like showed up at the very end of the season when Schneider was it Schneider at the time? Or yeah, Schneider at the time wasn't working out at the end of the season, and he just like put up crazy goaltending performances and then just was shit in the playoffs. We had our 4-1 loss to Tampa, but hey, we didn't get swept. I'll take that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't think there's.
All right. Any other questions for me before we move on?
No, I was gonna ask you about the Prudential Center, the ice issues, but I mean, we kinda already talked about it.
Yeah, nothing I'm too concerned about. Gonna
Yeah.
need a higher sample size for that one.
No, I think that's about it. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on then. Let's just talk about the league a little. Mostly, not you can mention specific players if you want to, but really just what teams are surprising you, what teams are disappointing you.
Um, Definitely a disappointment has been, God, uh, who's the bottom of the league right now? Who is it? Uh, Not supposed to be right
Right now, it is probably
No,
the
it's
Sharks.
definitely
I would
yeah, I
imagine.
think they're,
No, it's definitely the Sharks. The Sharks haven't won a game, I
the
don't think. Yeah, no,
Oilers,
they're
my
up
bad,
five and
The
one.
Oilers. I mean, it's just and I know they don't have Connor
Yeah,
McDavid.
the
That's,
Oilers
like,
are
the huge
one
part
four
of
and
it, but
one.
it's not good.
Well, not really. They've only missed them for one game right now
One
so far.
game, oh god. Oh, boy.
The Oilers are just a disaster. They haven't been scoring. Their defense is terrible. Their goaltending is floundering. I mean, yeah, they're really just getting
I
outplayed.
think Anaheim
I
is the
mean,
other
how
one,
much can
the other team that I'm, like,
McDavid
disappointed
carry?
because like, you would expect them to have a good
Really?
season. I mean, they
Surprising.
just so many young players and,
I
like,
don't know.
especially where Arizona is right now on that upswing. you would think Anaheim might be there, but obviously not.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think like yeah, I think the Ducks are. I think Ducks are doing well at 2-4. They're not too disappointing to me. I don't expect much out of them. I did bet on them beating the Blue Jackets because I am actually really low on the Blue Jackets. They're currently at 3. They're actually at the same record as the Devils, but I'm pretty low on them. And the Ducks squeaked out a win there. But um, the oh yeah, the Coyotes. That's what I want to talk about. The Coyotes. I was really high on them last season, and I'm even higher on them now. I think they're a really good team. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but they honestly might just run 500 all season. It's definitely possible. It's within their capabilities. Everyone likes hating on them because they've been bad for so long, but they don't actually look at the team. They've gotten rid of pretty much all of their dead cap. They have like nothing left. I think maybe one contract that's like about to expire. They have really good players. They have really good prospects. I mean, look at Clayton Keller. He is amazing. Logan Cooley, already amazing. Like, the Coyotes, they're a good team. Nick Schmaltz is doing great. Vomelka is an amazing goaltender for them. Yeah, they're going to need a little bit more. I know they currently said their goal to be back in the playoffs competing is 2026, but I think they might do it by 2025.
I was about to
I
say
think
you
they're a
might
really
as
good
well.
team, and I think they're under good management.
Yeah, I mean,
They got to get the arena thing situated, but I have no doubt that they're staying in
I'm
Arizona.
pretty sure
I
this
know
is
a lot of people.
they definitely have the most draft picks in the next, like, 3 years of anybody else right now. It's insane.
Yeah, I remember like 2 drafts ago, maybe it was even 3, just like watching the draft because I watched like almost the entire thing. It was just Arizona kept trading down and like duplicating
Oh,
picks.
it's
Like
insane.
they would send Calgary up like 15 spots in the third round in trade for their third round pick in the seventh round. In the seventh round, and another sixth round, and the seventh, and they just kept like adding these like late picks again and again for basically nothing because they really didn't need to pick that high immediately. They didn't need these specific players, so they kind of just like built this large pick pool to kind of get maybe some luck going while they still are probably getting the player they were going to pick anyway. So yeah, I think they've been doing a great job over there. I'm proud of the Coyotes. I hope their arena thing goes exactly as they want. I mean, obviously it's not exactly as they want. They're not getting the Tempe, but I know there's like another vote in like Phoenix or somewhere in and around there going on soon. I think that one has a pretty good chance going through. I think no matter what, they're staying in Arizona. I'd be shocked if they moved, especially because Bettman loves his hockey in the
Well,
desert. There's no doubt about
what's even
that.
interesting is
But I also think it works.
they still oversold their home opener. I mean, they still have that
Oh, well, I have no
ability.
doubt about that.
Yeah, they still have the ability to sell out the
Yeah,
arena. It's
there's
just
not a lot of seats. Not a lot of seats,
yeah.
but they're in an amazing location to sell out, big arena or not, because they're on campus
Yeah.
and they have like a student section, which is really cool. Honestly,
I know, I would
having
die
like
to
a
do
student
that.
section at a pro thing is so sick. Like imagine having like a Devils student section for like Rutgers Newark
Oh my god.
and like NJIT and stuff. Like they're right around the block. That'd be really cool. But you don't need to because it's a major successful pro team. So you're probably gonna sell out a lot
Yeah.
anyway. But that is really cool having a student section because I don't know about you. I go to a lot of college games, a lot of college football games, a lot of college basketball games. I'm still in college, um, and there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Those Rutgers games,
Yeah.
even though the team usually sucks. Although they're 6-1 right, or 6-2,
Oh,
something like
shit.
that. 6-2. We're 6-2 right now. That's right. We're making a bowl game this year. That's sick.
Alright.
But wrong sport.
Yeah.
All right. Any other teams? Oh yes, Boston. Of course, surprising. Not too surprising to me. I won't lie. I kind of expected it. I thought they'd be like maybe 5-1 right now. A lot of people thought they'd be like 1-5 based on what everyone was saying preseason, or like 3-3 at best. But nah, I'm not going to bet against the Bruins until they show me that you can't bet against them, or you can bet against them. So
Yeah,
not
I
terribly
knew they were
surprising
going
to
to have a
me.
good season when they named Martian captain. It's just the way it works.
It's true. That was yeah, he's a good captain. I don't know how much longer he's going to stay in the league, but
As long as he can.
he's going to be a good captain while he is. Yeah, probably. He might as well. He's fucking great. Sabres have been really disappointing.
Mm.
No doubt there. Just really, really not scoring goals at all. I mean, they lit the hell out of the Rangers, but that was about it. Tage Thompson off to a really slow start. Yeah. But they're gonna find their game. They're not gonna make the playoffs over like the Red Wings, who are after a 5-1 start. Oh, also very impressed by them. They got to be mentioned. They're amazing.
Yeah,
They're doing
it's
amazing.
nice to see Larkin do well.
Maybe overachieving a little, but like not overachieving as much as like the Flyers are. Yeah, they've been firing on all cylinders. I've been very impressed with them. Penguins are disappointing.
I knew that was going to happen.
2-4, the bottom of the Metro. Be below the Capitals? No, not really.
I don't know, but I like it.
I think they're a fine team. I don't necessarily know if they make my playoff list. No, they probably don't, but like, yeah, maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, getting basement into the Metro, it's kind of rough. But it's not a big deal because no one in the Metro is doing particularly well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just for me. I've watched those two teams dominate the Rangers every year in the playoffs, so it's very nice to see them at the bottom of the standings
Oh yeah,
together.
no, I agree. I'm not particularly a big Penguins or Capitals fan, at all.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, tickets are as
yeah,
low as $21 right now for Penguins fans. So if you're a Penguins fan, Hannah, go to a Penguins game.
yeah, she wants to go to the Penguins game. Yeah, she went to opening night actually,
Damn.
but they lost.
Of course they did.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I might be going to the Buffalo game
Nice.
tomorrow.
Very nice.
I got a big Sabres fan friends. He wants to go to every single one. He wants to go to the ones in New Jersey. He wants to drive up to Buffalo. I don't know if I'm going to drive up to Buffalo with you, Hashim, but we'll figure it out. We'll probably go tomorrow. I'm going to see him later today, so we'll talk.
All right.
All right. That's it for around the league. All right, let's throw out a couple hot takes, and then we'll wrap her up.
I'm gonna say the
What
Oilers.
you got?
The Oilers are gonna put McDavid on LIR, and then they're gonna circumvent the cap and sign a huge player just for McDavid to come back for the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, you think they're gonna go? They're not gonna make the playoffs if that happens.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You put him
They
on
would just
LIR
sit
now, you
McDavid.
clear the cap space. You then pick up someone worth 11 million in cap space, and you get back to it.
But if you have to clear the cap space anyway, because you have to bring out you can't just bring McDavid back into the playoffs. So like you need him for the season. So if you're gonna clear the cap space anyway, you might as well just clear the cap space and trade for a big player. that'd be a questionable GM move.
Oh my god!
But I have heard some interesting things that someone told me. As I'm not necessarily done on the train. I didn't do enough research, but he thinks McDavid's going to be out a lot longer than 1 to 2 weeks because it's like the same injury he had like rookie season
His knee?
or something like that. Yeah, yeah. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't do all the research, but that took him out for like half a season. So he thinks it may be re-aggravated and it's going to be tough to recover
As
from.
of today,
So we'll see what happens
the
there.
Oilers captain Connor
That would
McDavid
suck
skated on his
because
own.
he is on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. I think that's just pissing in the wind.
Yeah, I don't
But
think that's true. Everything that I heard said upper body.
I don't think so either. But there's what one person told me in person. So, I just wanted to throw it out there. All right, my hot take. I have to say it. Jack Hughes, 150 points.
Are you saying he wins the MVP,
Definitely
Lady Bang,
wins the Hart Ross.
5 trophies this year? 4 trophies?
Definitely not the Lady Bang. Definitely not the Lady Bang. But definitely wins the Hart Ross. Definitely wins the Hart. I don't know if I would say Rocket Richard, though, in that. I don't think I would include
scoring,
that.
yeah.
Oh, he still scores a lot of goals. He's definitely pretty up there. He just creates opportunities. I mean, 11 primary assists in 6 games is already an amazing stat line. Add on 2 more secondaries and 4 goals, and you're looking at an all-timer. So I don't think he's going to slow down too much. I mean, like, this is obviously my extreme take on it. But yeah, well, let me see. What's he on track for right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's on track for 232 points.
That's
his current pace.
Now, is that over Gretzky?
Over 232
Is that over
points.
Gretzky's record, or?
That's a good question. I don't know why I don't know that off the top of my head.
Let me look it up. In one season. Dumb. Let's see. 215. So yeah. So with some wiggle room.
It is. He's on pace. He's on pace to have the largest season ever. I don't think he's going to join the 200 point club. I don't think I can push my hot take that far, but I actually think he has honestly a pretty decent chance.
If he was going to do it
not a great chance.
He's going to do it this season.
Enough to be a hot take possible chance. Yeah. Oh, or next season, or the season after that. I mean, this kid's only going to get better. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And the team's only going to get better around him.
Seriously, crazy.
All right. What's your next take?
Oh, my next take. Oh God. I'm gonna say that the Detroit, at least if not, makes the West Coast final this year.
Whoa!
He looked like a hot team, dude.
I thought you were gonna say makes the playoff.
No, they're making the playoffs.
That was a hot take at the start of the season, was for them to make.
Yeah, no. I think they're making the playoffs. I think they're gonna need a goalie, a good goalie to go through with it, and we'll see what they can do. Because right now, I think
who's their goalie right now? H.o.T.H?
H.o.T.H's not bad, right?
I think it's H.o.T.H.
But you need something that little step
it up,
good. Especially if you've got. They only have 3.5 in cap, so maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. Had to think about it. But anyways, I think they will. It's a strong team this year.
All right, I think they'll make the playoffs. That's interesting.
Because you got Shane
They're going to meet the Devils in the conference. Wait, you say in the conference final or the Stanley Cup final?
No. West Coast final. So conference.
Detroit?
Yeah.
Detroit's an East Coast team.
Are they East Coast? Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, there you
go. Oops. They play in the Atlantic Division.
I always forget that. That's funny.
You think they're going to make the Eastern final? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually a pretty common mistake. I just always associate them with the East just because I've seen it for so long. But a lot of people will be like, "Wait, really? Detroit?" Like it's far enough west, isn't it? Isn't it like more west than Nashville? I don't know.
Detroit, yes, yeah. Yeah, dude. The leagues are the league.
It's very not
well, they're more. Detroit is farther north than Pittsburgh, yet Pittsburgh is somehow in the metro.
Well, yeah, those
they're in the Atlantic, even though Detroit's in the Midwest.
And I think Nashville is a little bit more west than Detroit. I don't know where exactly
Detroit's in Michigan.
Let's see if I find a better map.
In Nashville,
Detroit is more
in
east,
Tennessee. There's no way Nashville is farther. Am I really that dumb? U.S. map.
Well, Detroit's is one of the most eastern points of Michigan.
Oh, I see.
It's on the lake. Yeah. And then Nashville's in the middle of Tennessee. And Tennessee's really freaking long. It's a long ass state.
Yeah, still though, splitting the East into Atlantic and Metro is so dumb.
Yeah, I don't understand exactly. I mean, I know the main difference between them isn't so much being on the Atlantic
I
or
know. Yeah.
being in a metropolitan area. It's more um, whatever works best for plane routes or bus routes.
Bus routes.
Yeah, I mean, look at us. Rangers and Devils, 11 miles apart, arena to arena.
Where you just take the Amtrak.
Well, the players definitely take a bus.
There is one
I mean, bus.
there is one time, I think it was like 3 years ago, the Rangers took the bus to or not the bus, they took the subway to the stadium, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Which I think is pretty awesome.
There was that one time we had that big, what's it called? The 218 Club or something like that? That might not be right. But like there was this is really off topic, but there's like
I
in
know what you're
a
talking
Devils
about, yeah.
game where like Calgary or someone was visiting, or maybe it was Detroit. I don't know. It was one of the teams, and they were busing from the hotel to the stadium, but they got stuck in snow. And like the Devils players are all just like there with like the 200 fans who were able to reach the arena in time. They're just like chilling, and like the like Calgary or whoever is just like stuck in the snow along with like 10,000 fans.
Yeah, I heard about that. Didn't the GM give out shirts to everybody who was there? Like special merch?
Yeah, yeah, no, it's like a
Yeah.
legendary. Yeah, it's called like the. Oh,
Think it was in '87, right?
yeah, I'm not sure. Unimportant, but fun little moment in Devil's history. All right. Do I have another take? Let's see. What if I go? I'm actually very high on this team, but what if I go hot take? Stars exit first round. I'm
Ours.
very high on them. Yeah, the Dallas Stars exit in the first round. They're probably the Stanley Cup favorite out of the West for most, the consensus Stanley Cup favorite. But I'm gonna say Stars exit in the first round. They're almost certain. I can't imagine a world where they don't make the playoffs. I don't. I don't think that's achievable.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna miss the playoffs, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean,
They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose in the first round to wild card Calgary Flames because they're gonna get first seed and they're gonna play the wild card and it's gonna be the
well,
Flames.
they had a
They'll lose
problem
the
with
first round.
injuries last year, so we'll see how it goes this year with them.
It's a double hot take. A little double hot take. Calgary makes it out of the first round if they even make the playoffs,
If they make the playoffs.
which is a big if. Which makes it a triple hot take. There you go. All right. I think that's everything. Any closing remarks?
No, I think
Anything?
that's about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. It's the Hockey on the Hudson podcast. Hope you enjoyed. We will be back in 2 weeks, I
Yep.
believe. Yeah, thanks for
for
listening.
listening.